Listen, child, and I will tell you of a time when beauty was not a blessing, but a test. There was a village where the sun lingered too long, as if in love. And in that village lived Adanma, a girl whose skin drank the light and gave back gold. When she walked, the elders whispered that the river gods paused their songs to watch her. The young men left gifts at her door, carved ivory, ripe mangoes, promises. Even the crooked baobab at the edge of the village leaned toward her, its branches stretching like hungry arms. But beauty is a language, and Adanma did not know how to speak it. Her mother had died whispering a warning. Daughter, the mirror sees what eyes cannot. But what use were riddles to a girl whose reflection showed only what the world already praised? Then came the night of the whispering drums. The village was asleep when the sound began, not from the square, but from the sacred grove where women went to weep. A rhythm like cracking bones, like a heartbeat slowed by time. Adanma followed, her bare feet pressing into soil still warm from the sun's embrace. There, hanging from the oldest iroko tree, was a mirror, not of polished bronze, but of blackened water held in a calabash split down the middle. Look, hissed the wind. She leaned in and screamed. The face in the water was not hers. It was a thing of cracked lips and hollow cheeks, of eyes that had forgotten moonlight. The jaw moved, but the voice that crawled out was her mother's. They love the sun's gold on your skin, but who loves the girl beneath? Behind her, the drumming stopped. Something rustled in the leaves, not animal, not spirit, but something older. Watching, waiting, and Adanma knew, as the first drop of rain struck the mirror. This was not a curse. It was an invitation. The river that praises itself dries up first. Adanma ran from the grove that night, her breath sharp as broken pottery. But mirrors have long memories, and the one in the tree did not forget. By dawn, the village buzzed about the girl who had seen something, though none dared ask what. The women selling okra at the market glanced sideways at her. The children who once chased her shadow now hid behind their mother's skirts. Even the sun seemed cautious, painting her in pale light, as if afraid to touch her too boldly. Only one person spoke plainly, Neka, the scarred potter whose hands had shaped clay since before Adanma was born. She found the girl trembling by the riverbank, staring at her reflection in the water, searching for the monstrous face from the calabash mirror. The water shows what is, Neka said, voice rough like grinding stones. But the black mirror, it shows what could be. She pressed a cracked palm to Adanma's chest. You carry hunger in here, the kind that eats from the inside, like termites in sacred wood. Adanma's wound spilled out then. How the praises felt like chains. How the men's gifts were really hooks, waiting to drag her into wifely silence. How her mother's ghost haunted her dreams, repeating, "Who are you when no one is looking?" Neka listened, then snapped a twig in half. When a tree falls in the forest, does it beg the earth to catch it? No. It learns to grow sideways. She pointed to the forbidden hill where lightning had struck years ago. Go there. The one who left the mirror waits. That night, Adanma crept past the village boundary, her feet tracing the path of scorched earth. At the hill's crest stood a hut woven from thorns and eagle feathers. Inside, the air smelled of burnt herbs and wet clay. A figure sat in the shadows, stirring a pot. Not a spirit, but not quite human. Their skin shifted like oil on water, now young, now ancient. You came, the figure said, and Adanma gasped. The voice was hers, but deeper, older. Sit, little son, the stranger crooned. Let us discuss the price of being adored. Outside, the wind carried the scent of rain, and something darker. The snake sheds its skin to grow, but first, it must rub against sharp stones. The fire in the hut spat embers like a laughing throat. Adanma sat stiffly, her gold skin gone dull in the flickering light. The shifting-faced one, Ace's child, her mind whispered, poured black liquid into a cup carved from a human skull. "Drink," they said, pushing it toward her. "Taste the truth beneath your pretty lies." Adanma's fingers trembled. "What will it show me?" "What you refuse to see." The being's smile split like overripe fruit. "Men praise your skin but fear your voice. Women envy your beauty but mourn your loneliness. Even the river that mirrors you does not know your name." They leaned close. "This brew will peel you open if you dare." Outside, thunder growled. The hut's walls pulsed like a living thing. She drank. The world tore apart. Suddenly, she was floating above her own body, watching as her village burned. Not with fire, but with silence. The market women turned their backs as she passed. The elders spat her name like rotten cola nut. The suitors who once brought gifts now threw stones, their eyes hollow with disgust. "This is your fate," the voice hissed. "If you stay as you are, a pretty vessel, empty of meaning." Adanma screamed, but no sound came. Then the vision shifted. She saw herself old, bent double at the village edge, weaving baskets no one bought. Her famous beauty shriveled into wrinkles, her voice long silenced by years of swallowing words. The children pointed and giggled. "That's the sun's forgotten bride," they whispered. "They say her reflection cursed her." The skull cup shattered in her hands. "No," Adanma gasped back into her body. The hut stank of her own sweat and something metallic. Blood? Fear? The being clapped their hands. "Good. You still fight." They pressed a rusted knife into her palm. "Now choose. Keep your golden chains, or cut them. But know this, true freedom bleeds." Adanma looked down. The knife wasn't for cutting rope. It was for cutting skin. The butterfly struggles most when its wings are newest. Does that mean it should return to the cocoon? The knife burned in Adanma's hand, not with heat, but with the terrible knowing of what it asked. "You want me to carve myself open?" Her voice splintered like dry wood. The shifting one laughed, a sound like pebbles in a gourd. "No, little son. I want you to choose." They gestured to the hut's single window, where the first pale light of dawn crept in. "Leave now, and your beauty remains untouched. The village will still adore you until the next golden girl is born." Their eyes darkened. "Or cut, and see what grows beneath." Adanma pressed the blade to her forearm, hesitated. Memories rushed in. Her mother's funeral, where mourners whispered, "Such a pretty child," but never, "She must be aching." The chief's son slipping a bracelet onto her wrist while his other hand groped her thigh. Neka's words. "Who are you when no one is looking?" The knife bit deep. Gold spilled out. Not blood, thick, shimmering liquid sunlight, pooling on the packed earth. With each drop, her skin dulled, the famed glow fading like embers in the rain. She gasped as her bones shifted, her very shape changing beneath the vanishing radiance. The being watched, eyes hungry. Ah, there she is. In the black mirror's reflection, a new face emerged. Wider nose, stronger jaw, scars along the brow where no scars had been before. Adanma touched her cheek and wept. This is how I looked as a baby, before the sun chose me." The being nodded. "Your true face, buried under borrowed gold." They licked the last drops of sunlight from the knife. "But the village will call it a curse. Will you bear that?" Outside, voices rose, the villagers tracking her footsteps up the hill. Torches flickered between the trees. "Adanma!" the chief's son shouted. "Come back before the spirits ruin you." The being vanished, leaving only the knife and a whisper. Run or rise. But choose now. Adanma stood, turned toward the approaching mob, and smiled, not with golden lips but with her own. The mask that smiles for crowds often weeps in the dark, but whose tears are truer? The villagers froze when they saw her. No gold, no glow, just Adanma, her true skin kissed by the dawn, her scars bare like ancient runes. The chief's son dropped his torch. What evil is this? Not evil, Adanma said, her voice deeper now, unshaken. Truth. She stepped forward, and the crowd gasped, not at her plainness, but at the way the earth seemed to sigh beneath her feet, the way the baobab's leaves rustled without wind. Neka pushed through, her old eyes wet. Ah, the sun only borrowed you, but the earth has always claimed you. She pressed her forehead to Adanma's. Welcome home, daughter. Then, a child's laugh. Little Yagazi, the weaver's blind daughter, ran forward. Her small hands found Adanma's face. You feel like my mother's clay pots, she giggled. Warm and real. The village held its breath. Slowly, others approached. The women who'd envied her now touched her shoulders in awe. The men who desired her dropped their eyes, ashamed. The elders murmured, not curses but blessings. By the next moon the tales spread. How Adanma's voice could calm storms. How her hands healed sick children. How she no longer walked like a goddess, but like a woman, rooted, unafraid. And the black mirror? It hung itself on her hut's door, empty now, reflecting only those brave enough to see themselves. A tree known by its fruit needs no crown of leaves. Child of the ancestors, did this tale stir your spirit? Then drop one ember in the comments for courage, for truth, or for rebirth. Subscribe and ring the bell, for our storytelling fire burns daily. The next legend? She danced at funerals until the dead taught her the steps. Walk in light, but remember, the deepest shadows birth the brightest stars.